The Dust Bowl, also known as the Dirty Thirties, was a time of severe drought throughout the 1930s. My name is Meghan Patterson, and I plan to give you some information on the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma, and what happened when the Panhandle went from grasslands to a complete desert. The Dust Bowl affected thousands of Oklahomans, the Oklahoma economy, and changed the land for decades. Weather affected Oklahomans' living situation. According to the American story written by Arthur Rothstein, the weather from the Dust Bowl threw up so much dirt that visibility came down to a zero, and everything was covered in dirt, and no matter how many times people tried to find ways to keep dust out of their homes, it just kept coming in and making it impossible for them to live in. Dust piled up on the outside of doors, forcing them to climb out windows just to get out of their houses. Many Oklahomans decided to migrate to the western states, such as California, to escape all the dust and the storms. In the spring of 1935, the wind blew for 27 days straight. People and livestock began to die from suffocation. The government also began to start buying and destroying farmers' livestock, which helped the farmers in Oklahoma not go bankrupt. The economy was also affected during the Dust Bowl. Because of the 2.5 million people moving out of the affected areas, the economy in Oklahoma took a huge decline in revenue and a spike in the unemployment rate and the short-term effects. The long-term effects included the value of land, which was affected by the Dust Bowl, which decreased by $1.9 billion in 2007 dollars. Also, the initial declines in revenue in Oklahoma from the Dust Bowl continued to decline through the 50s to the 90s. Land became useless in Oklahoma due to the Dust Bowl also. During the drought of the 1930s, without water to keep the soil in place, it dried up and blew away in large dark clouds. Sometimes entire cities were engulfed in dust. The immense dust storms in Oklahoma, getting nicknames of black blizzards and black rollers, affected 100 million acres centered in Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. The water levels in lakes had dropped by 5 feet or more. Millions of acres of farmland became useless. The Dust Bowl was the result of the worst drought in the U.S. history. The Dust Bowl not only affected the people, economy, and land in Oklahoma for over 10 years, but also served several other states such as Texas and several other northern states due to winds carrying the dust. John Steinbeck wrote in The Grapes of Wrath, "And then disposts were drawn from the west, from Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, from Nevada and Arkansas, families, tribes, dusted out, tractored out. Carloads, caravans, homeless and hungry, 20,000 and 50,000 and 100,000 and 200,000. They streamed over the mountains, hungry and restless, restless as ants scurrying to find work to do, to lift, to push, to pull, to pick, to cut. Anything, any burden to bear for food. The kids are hungry, we have no place to live, like ants scurrying from work for foods, and most of all for land." This book, written in 1939, was about the Dust Bowl and the effects it had on the people. This event that changed the way Oklahomans lived for several decades will always stay and be a part of Oklahoma's rich history.